Hi Planner Babes, it's the Notable Liz, or just Liz, because I don't really refer to myself like that. I wanted to do, instead of like a typed out blog post, I wanted to do a stacks on stacks of happy planners on my memory planning in a video, because one, I felt it would really kind of give you a view on how I do my actual daily planning without spending 2 hours to do my week, because sometimes it can take that long. Memory planning for me tends to be much quicker, so I think that'll kind of give you an idea of kind of how I do that, as well as give you an idea of how to start doing memory planning. So first, this is from the end of August to September. This would be a whole week. That's all, done and journaled in, pictures, all that. But we are going to scoot down to kind of behind. That's life. But this is the, so, there was this week. And then this is still that, kind of that technical first full week of September. So I started here, so just kind of like focusing on these last 4 days here, which Pinners was, this Friday and this Saturday here. Usually, like whenever I do my, regular weeks planning, I kind of do a color scheme, which I kind of try to do with my memory planning, but it doesn't necessarily work out that way sometimes. Just is what it is. I decided to go with the neon, colors from the Planner Basics. And so that's the color scheme that I kind of went with here. Typically what I do is, for instance, for me, it's just easier to kind of like by date. I use the Polaroid zip to print pictures. And then I'll go back and I kind of try to put them in sequential order. One thing I want to point out about memory planning is the term memory planning is actually kind of a misnomer. You're not actually planning anything. The events in question have actually already occurred. You're really just more memory keeping and kind of journaling, your memories in a predated format. So that being said, you're not actually planning anything. So basically, usually what I like to do is I kind of like to go and just input some of the pictures. With the Polaroid zinc, it has adhesive on the back, so it's actually already sticker paper. If you're wondering how I got this size, there is a collage function on the app that's, either on Android or Apple. And then I just do them side by side. And then I just cut them down the middle. So that's how I get the smaller versus the, actually here's a good example. Some breakfast and I was on the way to Pinners. So this actually happened at night. Met some of my husband's family. I find myself kind of staggering things sometimes just because I find that it looks better to me. But I mean, everybody's different. You have to find what works for you. And this is just what works for me. Okay, so Friday I didn't necessarily do too much that morning. But that was actually the day I went to Pinners for the first time. Heather, or Kell of a Plan on Instagram, her and I met up, and then Mom and a Girl with Plans, or Mariel, and her daughter Riley, we met, Heather and I rode together, and then we met Mariel there. It was really nice to get the chance to, meet some of these people that, you've befriended on Instagram in person, and they're just as, genuine and amazing as, you know, in person as they are online, which is really nice. Actually, I have one here where it's me, Heather, Mariel, all with Stephanie at the Pinners photo booth. Here's one of me being a nerd, which is who I am. I make fun of myself. No shame. This one I'm gonna kind of layer over because I don't really necessarily care about the people in the bottom. They're kind of just there. It wasn't their fault. If you have the zinc, I have noticed sometimes it does these like striations in the photos. I mean, it doesn't really bother me, but I've had some people, or I've read some people that I guess it bothers them. If that's the case, you can always just print your photos out on your home printer, or you can always go to, you know, Walgreens or whatnot. Although they won't necessarily be quite as small. Let's put this one here so that there's some room in between. And you'll notice that there's kind of probably what is roughly about 1/8 of an inch pass like into the Thursday. With the new big happy planners that are being released at Michael's at the end of October and October 31st on the Me and My Big Ideas shop online, they will actually perfectly fit the zinc paper. So all of the boxes will be, from what I understand, they should be 2 inches wide, because that's how, these are 2 by 3. So everything will perfectly fit. So you won't have this overlap, which, I mean, it doesn't bother me, but I mean, it might bother some other people. And this was Saturday morning. Got to eat breakfast with the family. I usually use the lines to kind of make sure I'm putting the stuff down straight. This place we ate breakfast at was kind of it was around the Keller area in Texas. And it's like on an airfield. It's kind of neat. And they had this huge breakfast buffet. And this is my giant pancake. I had 2 because I love pancakes. Sunday, we just spent most of the time flying, so I'm just going to do this. I will put my happy face, because this is right before getting to Pinners. And then this is just me, Heather and Mariel again at Pinners. Look at all those planner babes. Love it. This was at the Post Pinners Mamby meetup. Okay, so now what I want to do is I kind of want to, even though I did this probably about a week and a half ago, just with school, things tend to get, you know, pretty chaotic. So I don't necessarily have time to sit down and, you know, memory plan. But just so that it consistently, which is kind of why I do color schemes, it's easier to make everything look consistent and similar within a week without it looking like you did it, you know, or without it looking like you actually did do it on different, you know, at different points in time. You don't want it to look that, I mean, at least I don't, but everybody's different. So just keeping with this theme, and This was a free handout that they did at Penner's, so I do, you know, obviously want to use this, and it kind of actually works out that the colors match, although I might have did that on purpose. Can't remember. These are some of the new sticky notes that you can find at Hobby Lobby. So I guess it's kind of good that I, you know, I'm doing this a bit later than I intended to, because I have these great like travel ones, because whenever we were in Texas, you know, we flew into Dallas, but then we spent time with the husband's parents in Houston, and then we went kind of to the hill country in Texas for a little while, and then back to Dallas, so we were kind of all over the place. So even though that's brown, it still works. I mean, to me it does. Just so I can kind of keep, you know, flow from one to the other. I've got this like blue and silver from the neon pack of washi. I'm gonna put it kind of over here. You can use like an old credit card or a old gift card to tear your washi, or if you just have a straight edge on something with enough weight, you can get a pretty nice straight edge on your washi instead of using scissors. I don't know why, but as of lately, I kind of like this not necessarily all the same like washi tape, kind of just at either odd lengths or odd places. Just makes it more fun to me. If you ever need help with like placement of stickers, I actually have these jewelry tweezers. They're really, really fine tipped, which for the smaller ones makes it so much easier to deal with. Because I eat breakfast really early, so for me, it was more like brunch. Probably why it takes me 2 hours, because I like to flip through every... Oh, yeah. Here's a stack of pancakes. I get way too excited. So, these adorable little pancakes. Gonna pop those right there. They're so stinking cute. Perfect. I also like to try to, you know, vary shapes, sizes of stuff. Just gives it, you know, more visual interest. With all of the sticker packs that the Happy Planner or maybe has come out with, this one that's being released at the end of October has by far been my absolute favorite, hands down. I actually do watercolor myself, so watercolor anything is my jam. But I love these huge quotes. So, you know, let's say you were memory planning and you've got, this was just a particularly busy week. Half the time, it's like, I'll be lucky if there's like a picture. And that's okay. That's real life. But, you know, so these big quotes on this like clear paper are perfect for those areas because you can still, you know, journal down, you know, feelings or memories from that day, even if you don't have a picture. And, you know, some of these quotes could, you know, possibly, you know, help to relay that feeling that you had of that day. So I love this sticker pack. I'm not the kind of person that I tend to buy more than one, except for one other sticker pack by the Happy Planner. It was, hang on, I'll show it to you. This one, I bought 2 of this one because I just found myself constantly, because of, you know, the colors, the sayings, I found myself using it so much that I went back and bought another one so that I would have more. So this one will be the second one that I will probably purposely invest in a second one. You know what? This is a good one right here, especially because you know, I was so happy to get to be able to go to Pinners. So, you know, wake up and be happy. You know, being happy is a choice. You don't, now, I mean, that, I'm not talking about actual, okay, so that one just wants to go there, that's fine. Now, I'm not talking about mental illness. Depression is something different. But if you're not the kind of person who actually suffers from a, you know, a medical condition that affects the chemical balance in your brain, you have a choice to be happy. I choose to be happy, but I'm also a naturally optimistic person. The glass is always half full for me. You ask my husband, he would tell you it's half empty. They say opposites attract, and him and I are a definite case of that. I just like all the different, I love like geometric stuff, so like things like triangles and like hexagons, just very graphic things. I tend to be, so I'm like 2 sides of the same coin. I love things that are, you know, kind of bohemian and watercolory and, you know, soft, but then I love loud colors and geometric bold prints. I pretty much run the gamut for the most part. So I'm gonna put this cap for, we're gonna stick that there. Sometimes I just kind of flip through until I find something that I just like, and then I go from there. These are definitely ones I'm talking about with the needle nose or the fine tip jewelry pliers. I think maybe what I will do is put this here. If you have these glossy stickers, I recommend using the alcohol-based Le Pen. They won't smear, well, you have to let it dry. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. It won't bead up, but you have to leave it alone long enough for the alcohol ink to dry before you can touch it. And then you're good to go. They'll write on this perfectly. So overall, this is pretty much it. All I will do is, kind of in these, blank areas, that is where I'm gonna, do the journaling, where I fill out, what happened that day, any stories or tidbits. So now you can see, like, it still manages to look consistent without looking, without it actually being done at the same time. We've got same washi tape in more than one place, similar colors, things like that. And that's it. That's how I memory plan. So thank you. And if you guys really like this video, let me know and I will try to do more here in the near future. Sorry, can't talk. Not used to it. And so, see you guys next time.